cross is the spot where justice and mercy meet.
Jesus himself claimed to be the Son of God, and basically what that means is he was either crazy or he was legit.
G'day, my name's Matt Smallbone. I'm an Australian who currently lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Born and raised in Australia, raised as a Methodist pastor's kid. Went to a Lutheran high school and then went to the Pentecostal church's Sunday night crazy services every weekend. So I guess I have a varied theological background. I've spent many years preaching 50 to 80 times a year, I guess, in local churches. We talk about grace a lot.
You've never gone to church in your life? You're the most welcome guest here tonight. Everyone give him a hand if you've never been to church. None of us intend to be super freaky, but sometimes it just happens, man. So we'd like to welcome you here. What I love about Jesus the best is that he just said awesome things. And I don't think it would matter if I wasn't even a Christian. If I was some other religion, all the major religions revere Jesus in some kind of way. And they list him off as like a great prophet or an awesome teacher. And other people maybe just make him like a social justice champion, right? Stuff like that. The trouble that I have with some of those descriptions is that it's so much more than that.
In 1997, my baby cousin Rebecca St. James was getting her first band together. She just made a record called God, and I think she needed some cheap help. So I bailed out of my science degree here in Australia at the University of Queensland and fell in love with music ministry, playing for her. Came back to Australia, ended up teaching for 6 full months, and joined an Australian ministry named Alabaster Box. We did a lot of ministry all around Australia, hit the outback, visited Aboriginal schools, did big concerts in the main centres. A year and a half ago, Michael W. Smith called me and asked if I'd be interested in joining his band for a couple of shows.
Please welcome on bass guitar, Mr. Matt Smallbone.
I've had the great opportunity of playing worship music with the guy, I guess, who for me brought worship music to the church in a massive way. If you dig in and do all you can to become more like him and to live life like he would have you live, then amazing things can happen.
I believe that Jesus came down to die on the cross, just like the Bible said, to save my sins, right? That I could go to heaven one day, which is the best news ever, yeah? But in Matthew 25, something interesting happens, where Jesus himself is talking and he describes what happens at the end. And this is freaky stuff, man. It'll mess up your theology.
It's such a key moment to understand, and it gives me great joy explaining this stuff to teenagers as much as it does to the Sunday morning church crowd.
Jesus stands in front of all these people, and on the left, he separates people like a shepherd to sheep and goats. A multitude like this. The sheep go over here, the goats go over here. And Jesus starts saying some really trippy social justice stuff at this point, because he says, you guys over here, the sheep, I was thirsty and you gave me a glass of water. To these guys over here, he said, I was in jail, you didn't visit me. I was hungry, you didn't give me anything to eat, right? It's a real interesting thing to consider that on the last day, when Jesus stands before us and makes the terrible decisions that he's going to have to make that I know he's not going to enjoy. Basically, he says in the Bible in Matthew 25 that he separates us on what we did and didn't do for the least of the brothers.
I know most of my friends feel like the older they get, the lamer things become. That isn't my experience, and I can only put that down to a vibrant relationship with Jesus. And when I speak, I love sharing those truths with people because our lives should count, and they should count big time.